Hi everyone, Chillax here and welcome back to another Anchor Panic video. So we have a rerun banner for Tern coinciding with a current rate up banner of Crag, and Tern's rate up banner, or rerun banner rather, will last until February 11th, which is when version 1.8 ends and version 1.9 begins. And today we will talk about whether to pull or pass on this banner, along with what Tern does in terms of her skill set and signature sigil. We'll go over exactly how to build her, and my thoughts on her optimal build has changed substantially within the past 24 hours, so stay tuned for that. And then finally we will do a PvP showcase. But first, let's talk about whether to pull or pass on her. The thing is that on February 11th, once version 1.8 ends, version 1.9 begins, which will introduce a brand new operator, Luna, who is not only one of the hottest waifus in Anchor Panic, but she's also one of the most meta-defining ice defenders in the CN server. And so for this reason, if you're a free-to-play player with limited rate-up tickets and Crystal Ashes, even though Tern is one of the best operators in the game, you should still save your tickets for Luna and try to secure both her as well as her signature sigil during her 3-week rate up banner. And the reason why I say this with extreme confidence is because not only is Luna meta defining, but we will get yet another rerun banner for Tern on week 2 of version 1.9. So for this reason, there's just absolutely no reason to FOMO on Tern right now if you're a free-to-play player. By the way, if you want to know more about version 1.9, what to look forward to, I do have a video on Luna herself going over her skill set and signature sigil on the test server, and I also do some PvP showcase of her as well, so definitely check that out. Okay, and then if you are a low spender or whale who is maybe like missing her signature sigil, or maybe you're 1 or 2 copies of her away from an important breakpoint like Ascension 3 or Ascension 6, then I think it makes a lot of sense to secure more copies of Tern before this banner expires. Okay, let's go over her skill set. We have a lot to talk about here. Now Tern, she is the fastest operator in the game. She has the highest base speed in the game, and she also makes everyone very fast. And if you build your Tern optimally, you will be able to achieve 274 speed non-Stellaron and 295 speed full Stellaron. So just keep that in mind in terms of breakpoints. With regards to her skill set, her skills revolve entirely around drones, which is a buff that she applies to all her allies whenever she casts a skill, thanks to her talent 1. So whenever Tern casts a skill, all allies will get 1 stack of Drone Breaker. This is a buff that increases the speed of your allies, specifically 5% speed, assuming you have a level 2 drone support. And you can have up to 6 stacks of Drone Breaker, which effectively gives your allies up to an extra 30% speed from this alone, assuming that you have level 2 drone support. And this is scaling off of Tern speed, which is probably the best speed to scale off of. And then her talent 2 allows you to start off with more drone breakers at the start of battle. This allows you to outspeed an opposing Tern, for example, if you have like a tiebreaker. So for this reason, getting Ascensions for Tern helps a lot with bringing her talent 2 from level 1 to level 2, or Stellaron even further to level 3. Yeah, you basically start off the battle with more speed. And then with regards to her attacks, basic attack is basic attack. Skill increases attack of all allies by 12% for 1 turn. Effect increases by 40% for same element operator, so very powerful offensive buff. And then for her energy burst, core deflection field, issues a combat command to all allies. This is a buff that is unique to Tern specifically, where she adds quantum damage to the target's attack, specifically causes their damage skills to deal additional quantum damage equal to 86% of Tern's attack plus 190. Effect increases by 40% for same element operators lasting for 2 turns. Yeah, so this has some unique synergies with operators like Newcastle, who buff the quantum damage of other allies. So, thanks to her combat command, she can even make non-quantum operators do quantum damage, and this creates some unique synergies like the Newcastle synergy that I just mentioned. Yes, and because this combat command scales off of her attack, so it makes a lot of sense that you want as much attack on her as possible. Okay, and then with regards to her Ascensions, if you manage to get Ascension 3, her drones will also increase the target's crit damage by 1% per stack, the effect increasing by 40% for same element operators. So yes, if you have her Ascension 3 or Ascension 6, her drones will increase the target's crit damage on top of the traditional speed buff. So this is yet another way for Tern to improve the damage output of your allies. And Tern's Stellaron investment is quite a high rate of return, because whether you go the left side or the right side, you will be able to pick up one of these 2 speed bonuses, which is quite nice. If you go the left side, you're basically picking up more attack along the way and improving her survivability. If you go the right side, you get more HP and damage reduction there. But all of these stats are great for improving her survivability, improving her speediness, and the Talent 2 and Talent 1 nodes are also quite important for adding more drones at the start of battle, as well as the speed buff of each applied by each drone. So she's a very high rate of return Stellaron, definitely one of the first Stellaron that you can safely build if you're a free-to-play player. And then if you have her signature Sigil, this will allow your Tern to solidify her status as the fastest operator in the game, thanks to the 6.6% speed bonus, as well as increasing the speed of all allies, including herself, by 3.5% for 2 turns up to 2 stacks. And mind you, this first clause will take effect even if equipped by a different operator besides Tern, which makes Windrift one of the best, most universal signature sigils in the game. And I do have guildmates who have extra copies of Windrift to equip onto other operators in order to enhance the overall speed of your party. And if Windrift is equipped by Tern herself, after her own action, she will add an additional drone support stack for all allies, and when drones are at full stacks, which is 6, it provides the target with an additional 6.7% increased damage, and this is a very unique offensive damage buff that you wouldn't traditionally get. So, this is yet another way for Tern to improve the damage output of your party. Yeah, so very good signature sigil there. Now, with regards to model sets builds, I have decided that, originally I had 4-piece block chance, 2-piece Raging Wave to improve her survivability. So this was block chance. I originally had 4-piece of this originally to provide her additional damage reduction, as well as 2-piece of Raging Wave to maintain maximum speed for Tern. But then I realized that I was still dying against opponents who were doing turn 1 energy burst with their Abyssalicia that has been partially or max Stellaron. So for this reason I decided, okay, well, I typically run my Tern with Frost Jade, who is able to revive Tern if she dies. So for this reason, I pretty much went full offensive with 4-piece Raging Wave to provide resonance stacks to my allies whenever she casts a skill, and this provides an attack buff and a defense buff that lasts 2 turns and stacks up to 3 times. And then I'll go speed, base attack, and attack. And this allows me to have maximum damage buff applied with my energy burst combat command on all my allies, because remember, it scales off of her attack. Yeah, so I do believe that that is the optimal model set now. It solves the problem of making sure that she's still the fastest operator in PvP while also providing offensive buffs. So I love this set. This is the set that I now recommend for all players. Now the exception would be if you are a player who joined late and missed Frost Jade entirely, or if you do not plan to run Tern with Frost Jade, say like in Advanced Arena. And for this reason, then I would say that aside from this set, 4-piece Block Chance, 2-piece Raging Wave makes a lot of sense, allows you to still outspeed the best of the players, as well as improving the survivability of hers. And my previous set was 4-piece Block Chance, 2-piece Raging Wave with speed, HP bonus, and attack. And so, you know, it's up to you what your priorities are. As you can see here, my priority was to stack as much offensive buffs on my operators as possible. So I have max base attack, near max attack, 6 out of 6 speed, and the rest into defensive buffs like defense, block chance, HP, and HP. Okay, and then with regards to her signature sigil, then I would say that the only option really, if you want to optimize your turn, would be speed, defense, and HP. But the absolute most important thing is to have 10 out of 10 speed. Until you have 10 out of 10 speed, you're not going to lock anything else. So typically when it comes to building her sigil, what I would recommend, first empower until you have speed, defense bonus, and HP. After that, keep resetting value until you have 10 out of 10 speed, lock it, and then start re-rolling the other stats. This will optimize your empower nuclei consumption, because whenever you lock a stat, you know, the consumption doubles. So speed is the most important thing. I would rather you have 10 out of 10 speed, 1 out of 10 defense, 1 out of 10 HP, than to go 9 out of 10 for everything, because just speed is so important for turn. Now, if you don't have Wind Drift, then I would say the best option would be either automated cultivation to optimize her survivability, or maybe go with one of the base attack sigils, like probably Luxuriant Leisure would be, or Origin would be the best, because of the base attack as well as additional attack stacking. So actually I would say Luxuriant Origin would be number 1 if I didn't have her signature sigil, followed by automated cultivation, or the other base attack one, whichever one it is. I think it's this one. Yeah, but she doesn't do energy burst damage, so this is kind of useless for her. So yeah, Luxuriant Origin or automated cultivation would be the best. Okay, so let's go over a PvP showcase. So you guys have probably seen this multiple times if you're a long-time viewer, but this is the current team that I run on PvP, basically running 2 of the best speed tuners in the game in the form of Tern as well as Echo, along with another speed tuner, Lang Jiao, when combined with another ice operator, and she does crowd control with her AoE freeze. Echo does crowd control with her AoE energy ban, and then Tern, you know, obviously to help everyone outspeed the opponent. Frost Jade will keep everyone alive. If you don't have Frost Jade, like let's say you're a newer player, you can swap with Lilira, which is quite a good alternative, and then Abyss Elysia as the hyper carry. And if you're missing Abyss Elysia, then you can go Tia. If you're missing Tia, you can go Ukali, or yeah, whatever DPS you've got. Yeah, so I would go with this. Make sure that you're paying attention to the homologies. So if you want Lang Jiao to be a crowd controller, you need to have 2 ice operators. If you want to apply shock stacks for your main DPS, who's a lightning unit in my case, then you want to make sure you're applying shock stacks. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a showcase here. I'll just show you a replay of myself on defense against another meta-defining team, which also runs double speed tuner, Frostjade as a healer reviver, Abyssalicia as a hyper carry, and then Rose as a sub DPS, thanks to her ammo, especially if you have max Ascension. So let's go ahead and replay this. Now I'm on defense, and I should win the speed tie, so I should go first. Make everyone faster, and now my Echo can outspeed his turn, which makes my Lang Jiao outspeed the turn, which allows my Frostjade to outspeed the turn. And this allows me to set up all my buffs and domains before the opponent starts to move. Okay, and then now he's going to do a little speed tuning himself. And then once he's done speed tuning, then my Abyssalicia will move next. Okay. And then he'll set up his Frost domain. Okay, so now my Abyssalicia will go. Okay, and then his Abyssalicia will go. So as you can see here, there's not really a point to build Tern defensively, because she's going to die anyways. But if you have a Frostjade who can double revive, then it's perfectly okay to make your turn entirely focused on maximizing the damage output of your operators. Yeah, so thanks to the damage boost, it turned my Lang Jiao into a sub DPS. So I hope you found this informative. If you haven't already, please consider dropping a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.